Aaron, the search and rescue operation was halted just a few hours ago as engineers work with city, state, and local governments to prepare the demolition of what's still standing of that building. Meantime, another building in South Florida has now been evacuated. That's part of the audit ordered by the Miami-Dade County mayor.
Ordered to pack up and get out.
Shoes and stuff like that.
Annabelle Solomon grabbed her important documents, bedding, her husband, and 3 kids.
We're just waiting. We don't know anything else.
You're just waiting to get word to see if you can go to a shelter?
And my worry is I gotta go back to work on Monday, and I don't know what we're gonna do.
They and all their neighbors under a mandatory evacuation order by the city of North Miami Beach. The city manager referring their condo to the county for demolition purposes, according to the letter sent by the board of directors to the Crestview Tower Condo Association yesterday, saying the building is structurally and electrically unsound.
Good thing about it is we caught it before there was a disaster, and our manager asked us to start doing our own audit a few days ago, and as we see them, we flag them and we come after them.
This woman says she was given 2 hours to leave. No telling if and when she'll be able to go back home. People here telling us they've been living without air conditioning, functioning elevators, and worse.
He always worried because he sees cracks on the floor and on the walls of it. We also got walls where the water's coming in because the walls from the outside of the building are cracked and water comes in, and then the inside walls, the sheetrock, is rotten.
8 miles south, the search continues ahead of Tropical Storm Elsa. The governor and Miami-Dade County mayor now saying the remainder of the standing Champlain Tower South building will be brought down with explosives by Monday before the storm hits. The state picking up the tab.
I don't think there's any way you could let somebody go up in that building given the shape that it's in now. And so if the building is taken down, this will protect our search and rescue teams because we don't know when it could fall over. And of course, with these gusts potentially, that would create a really severe hazard.
Now in day 10, more help from the feds and strike teams from around the country to assist firefighters working tirelessly, now also dealing with a COVID outbreak, bowing their heads yesterday as the 7-year-old daughter of one of their own was recovered from beneath the rubble.
And more bodies recovered today, Aaron. The death toll now standing at 24, 121 people still missing. The exact timeline for the demolition of that unsafe structure, is what's remaining of it, is unclear, but we know it will happen this weekend ahead of Tropical Storm Elsa. Aaron? And I want to bring in Bettina Obias right now. She is the cousin of Maria and Claudio. They were a couple who have been found, and we're so sorry for your loss, and we appreciate you joining us. Tell us about who Maria and Claudio were.
I call her Tita Coy, which means Aunt Marie Coy. She's actually my second mom. It's just so hard to put into words how much a phenomenal woman she was. She was retiree from the International Monetary Fund as a senior budget officer, and he was also a retiree as a legal counsel at the Intelsat, both in Washington, D.C.
And he was also the nephew of the former president of Chile, I understand.
That's correct, yes. He is the nephew of former president of Chile, Michelle Bachelet.
We're just so sorry for your loss, and it's so unspeakable. And we were talking a little bit earlier about the limbo that you and these other families have been going through, but I understand they were found together in bed.
Yes. I really had, for some reason, I had known in my heart that they did not suffer. They were together, and they were in bed. So I think what happened was that they were already fast asleep when all this thing happened. Like some of the people also were found together in bed, fast asleep. So my only hope is that they died instantaneously without any pain or suffering.
We spoke to a friend of Maria's this week, and she talked about what a shining light she was and what a special presence she was, that they loved to travel, and she was really still holding out hope and talking about how important it is for people to send out positive wishes and hope for those who are still missing.
Yes. My aunt actually is the glue that kept my clan together. She was a curator, a photographer, a painter, the mother of everybody in the family who needed a motherly love. She was my source of strength and support. She was a person who was always doing something exemplary. You know, she was never spending time in anger, always loving and always supporting. So when now I promised to her, I said, Tita Koy, somewhere, that I promise you I will just really focus on love and forgiveness, because that's what I feel in my heart from her.
That's amazing, an amazing legacy that she leaves behind. And talk about, you've met all these other families who are waiting for word at the Reunification Center. Has that been a source of strength and support for you?
Oh yeah, I've met so many people there that I just the stories are just so heart-wrenching, you know. I met this girl who was walking when I came here also, when I found out, and she told me that her uncle or brother was in that building, and he brought that evening his 5 children in their 20s. So all of them were missing. And then I also met somebody who actually escaped, who was also my neighbor of my aunt. He was just a few doors away. And as soon as he felt the ground shaking, he ran to the exit. And apparently there was this one girl who went back and knocked on the doors of the old people, trying to save them. And she herself is missing. And some people came to the United States for vaccination, for Pfizer, that a lot of people are refusing. They flew all the way here just to get the vaccination. That night, only for one night, they also are missing. So my heart goes out to all of them, especially those people with younger children, you know, those very young children and a whole family. So my aunt lived a beautiful and accomplished life and so much love. You know, I feel the loss, but at the same time, I'm so grateful that she was in my life.
Oh, it's so heartbreaking to hear, but I'm so glad that she made such a positive impact on you and so many others and the world. And we thank you so much, Bettina, for joining us. We're so sorry for your loss.
Thank you so much for having me.